So what you're looking at right here are the two main elements to a display case. You have the light box top section, and then you have the main section that your statue or collectible is going to sit on. We've got two adjustable spotlights that you can move back and forth and rotate to be able to get the right angle for the statue that you're going to place inside. On the bottom, you've got 4 holes that you can place your removable feet. These rubber feet are very sturdy, but some people would also like to keep a flush shelf or wherever you want to display these inside your home. So in that case, you can take the feet off or put them on, just depending upon your own design. On the front, you're going to see that there's 2 dimmer switches. One dimmer switch is going to control the top, and one dimmer switch is going to control the bottom to give you that ultimate control over what the lighting situation for your particular object is that you want to put inside the case. On the back, you will see 3 different inserts for DC connections. This is still in prototype phase, so these are going to move around and we will have labels for them. But just to give you an idea of what's going to happen, you have your power in, then the middle one is going to be the power that goes up to the top to connect to your light box. That's going to be a special cable. It's an accordion cable that stays nice and hidden, but that way we don't have to worry about trying to hide wires and do like very, very fragile connectors inside the walls of the case. Then the one on the other side is your daisy chain connection. So the power cycles through all of this, and this is a live port once there's power put into the first one. So you can connect multiple cases together, or you can use this to go inside the case and power the turntable stretch goal or any type of lit collectible that you might have. For example, this object here, this Iron Man, has a light up feature. So you would be able to light up that collectible inside the case while it's mounted. So that's really cool. So let's go ahead and put one of these together, and I'll show you how it looks. Again, this is just a proof of concept prototype, so some things will change, and I'll try to go over some of the different changes that we're going to be making while I put this together. One of the first things that's noticeable is we've got a mixture of materials. We've got both matte materials and gloss materials. On the real thing, all of the materials will be matte, so that's going to be one thing. We want to make sure that there's no extra reflections, so that's really important. So to be able to attach your feet, all you've got to do, there's a screw inside, you situate them, and then all you got to do is screw it on. Super easy. So I'll go ahead and screw all these guys on. So now we've got all of our feet screwed on, so we can flip over our case. And the first thing that we're going to want to connect, let's just move this out of the way a little bit. We're going to put the back on. So the back is a nice matte black material. On the back side, you've got your holes that fit everything already pre-drilled, and then we also have mounting points, so that if you wanted to put this case on the wall, you can attach mounting brackets, and they're nice industrial brackets that will allow you to put this whole thing up on the wall, just like one of our 6-inch cases, which is really cool. So all we've got to do is set this up, and then we're just going to screw it in with the included screws. So now we've got all the screws attached to the bottom of the back piece, and you can see everything's still pretty sturdy, so you're not going to have to worry about things falling down. So now let's go ahead and grab one of the side panels, and we're going to do the same thing. These are acrylic side panels, so this was one of our very first iterations, and it's one of the only samples that we have that show all of the real materials for the product, as far as the black covers and stuff like that and the proper thickness. The actual material that we're using for the production displays are glass, and it is an anti-reflective glass, and we're going to show you towards the end of this video what that looks like, because we do have samples that we can attach to this case, so it's going to be really cool. But just bear in mind, when we're putting this together, this is super reflective. The real thing is not going to be super reflective. On these pieces, one side is bigger than the other, and that provides the pocket for all the cables to be hidden. So you're just going to face that portion towards the back, the larger portion. And then we're just going to do the exact same thing and put our screws in. So I've gone ahead and placed all of the sides on so that you guys don't have to see me put all the screws in. That would take a while. So we're going to go ahead and place the top, which is going to lock in all of the work that we've already done. So you just want to make sure that your little DC port that connects to the power source at the bottom faces towards the back, and it's going to line up with one of the holes on the back side. Just like this. Then all we've got to do is just line up our holes and continue to put the screws in, and we'll come back. Okay, we've got our top fully secure, and you can see that this thing is rock solid. It's actually stronger than the table that it's sitting on. So to be able to put our face on, the face is actually magnetic. So all we've got to do is plop it in place and snap it together. And that's it. Your case is all put together. Now, of course, you can see, again, a lot of reflection. We'll be switching this out, but I just wanted to show you what this whole thing looks like in the proper thicknesses, because our sample glass is a little bit thinner. So the only thing that you've got to do to be able to plug it in is you rotate over to the back. You've got your plug, and that's the way that they lined it up. And then you can just plug this right into the wall, and you're good to go. Now, we've got something very special that we're releasing as one of our add-ons, and that's a wireless power pack. So the wireless power pack is going to have all the cables that you need to be able to plug this in. We have a very large capacity battery that's going to be custom built just for us. It's going to hold 60,000 milliamps at least. This should give you the amount of power that you need for a case of this size to run it for over 40 hours. And it could be even more if you don't crank the lighting up all the way. So that's going to give you the ability to run, like if this was in your office, you'd be able to run this whole thing for a week without having to recharge, which is super cool if you're worried about hiding your cords. So that's super, super neat. And all it's going to do is attach to the back. So we're going to build a special mount for it, and that will be a part of the case itself, and it'll mount to the back. This little circuit board that we've been testing is going to allow us to control the whole system from our phones. So it'll have a nice enclosure, but this is the proof of workmanship, if it were. So all we've got to do is just plug that into the main in power port, and then we're going to plug that smart controller into the battery. Now that I've got everything plugged in, is I just take my phone out, and I go to the Smart Life app, and we created a specific custom interface for this. And all we got to do is turn it on. And then when we're done, we can actually set a schedule. So we can set these to turn on in the morning, turn off in the evening, all kinds of different situations. And you could even get this power pack and decide whether or not you want to use the battery. You could just use the smart switch so that you can control this whole thing when it's still powered into the wall. That's completely up to you. It just requires a 12-volt source. But super easy to turn on, turn off, and you've already set the brightness based upon the object that's inside it. So you don't need to use the dimmers more than just to change the look and the feel of the case itself and what you have inside. So this comes in 14 different sizes. So please check out all the different sizes that you can purchase. You can see the screws over here. They are going to have black covers, and I think the real ones are going to be a little bit bigger. So let's kind of go over a little bit about what we are wanting to adjust for this. And the reality is there's not a whole lot. The concept looks really, really nice. We're going to work on the covers and make sure that they fit the look and feel that we're going for. We're going to make sure that all the materials are matte instead of having some being matte and some being glossy. We may end up changing these spotlights out to make them a little bit more adjustable, because that's always a good thing. So we're just looking at that. And then, of course, the glass is going to get upgraded to the anti-reflective glass. And let's go ahead and switch over to that right now so you can see what anti-reflective glass looks like. All right, guys. So what we wanted to do is show you what the difference is between the regular acrylic and what a museum anti-reflective glass looks like. So I think it's plain to see the difference. You've got a tremendous amount of reflection showing up on this acrylic, and you've got basically nothing showing up on here. Now, it is not a miracle. In certain situations, especially when it's 90 degrees, you're still going to see a reflection just like glass. And if you've got lots of outdoor windows, you may see a different color, a much darker color of reflection. But as soon as you put light behind it and you fill up that space, like inside of a case where you've got a bunch of light, it just disappears. And especially including that dark backdrop. So we'll be showing you guys more about that as the campaign proceeds, because we're going to continue to be working on this and getting better samples and stuff like that along the road. But just so that you can see, this is the reality of what a huge difference museum quality glass makes to the kit. So join that Superbird early special, get in on the best discounts, and be a part of something that is so unique in this collecting industry as being able to bring such a high quality museum case into the houses of yourselves, the private collectors. So thank you guys very much.